No matter how unbelievable this story is, just remember that it's true and it actually happened.
On May 29, 2017, in Obuasi, Ghana, a woman called Mobb stood by the roadside selling snails. A man started walking towards Mobb. The man approached her and the two spoke briefly. Moments later, Mobb picked her phone and made a call. What happened after this phone call would be so rare and so terrible, it outraged the whole nation. The police said it was one of the worst crimes reported. On a Monday morning in May 2017, a young man called Maxwell was jogging through a very peculiar town called Obuasi, in the central region of Ghana. Maxwell was new in town. He had just moved to Obuasi 3 weeks earlier. Obuasi is a gold mining community. Land in Obuasi has one of the largest gold deposits on planet Earth. Before Maxwell left for this jog, he grabbed his sidearm, which was a handgun, and hid it under the pants he was wearing, covered it with his shirt, and set off. As Maxwell jogged through the gold mining town of Obuasi, he kept looking into some of the houses, trying to familiarize himself with the environment. Maxwell, as he was jogging, slowed down a bit and texted with his friend on his phone. He told his friend that he was embarking on a 20-kilometer walk, so he would get in touch later. He put his phone away and picked up the pace again. He jogged past a couple of villages in the area and came to a stop when he saw a woman selling snails. Snails are a favorite delicacy in Ghana. Maxwell bought some of the snails, but the snail seller, Mobb, as she sold the snails, couldn't stop staring at Maxwell. She kept watching Maxwell as if she recognized him. Maxwell paid for the snails and continued jogging. Maxwell jogged about 1.5 kilometers more, and as he got to a spot near the Denkyira Obuasi cemetery, he was ambushed by a couple of men. The men who ambushed Maxwell had guns, and they shot at Maxwell as soon as they saw him. Maxwell, who at this point was probably confused because he had no idea whatsoever why these men were shooting at him. So he started running, and he ran for his life. In no time, dozens of people showed up from their houses when they heard gunshots and loud screams, and assumed the worst when they saw Maxwell being chased, and pounced on Maxwell, attacked him using cement blocks, clubs, among others. Until around 10 a.m., 2 hours after he had left to jog, Maxwell was beaten to death and his body set on fire. Maxwell was an armed robber and had a gun on him when he was lynched. This was supposed to be a justified mob justice. But when Maxwell's body was finally identified by the authorities, all hell broke loose in Denkyira Obuasi. Maxwell, whose full name was Major Maxwell Adam Mahama, was no armed robber. He was a degree holder from the University of Ghana, a married man and a father of 2. Maxwell was a decorated detachment commander, a soldier in the Ghanaian army stationed in the area. Remember the snail seller Mobb, who couldn't stop watching Major Maxwell Mahama? The reason she kept watching him was because he saw Major Maxwell's service handgun poking out of the Major's jogging attire. As he bought the snails and assumed Major Maxwell Mahama was an armed robber, she then called the assemblyman of the town, who also gathered his men and armed them with guns to kill this armed robber on sight. And that's exactly what they did. Major Maxwell Mahama's life was painfully snuffed out of him because of a false alarm.